have Dianthus to prune. There's a tiny little bud right there. There's a bud that's ready to bloom. There's a bud that is just opening up. This one's a little bit further along. This one's almost completely spent. You can check out the stem and go down and cut above a set of leaves. Here's a stem with one spent flower and one new bud coming up. So you want to cut off just the spent flower on this one. Here's a spent flower and a new bud. We're just going to cut off the spent flower, and that will leave the new bud to blossom. Here's a spent bloom, but if you look very closely down in here, you can see that there's a potential flower, so you want to cut above that. Or you can go down further, which will strengthen the plant, and cut here. And that will make the leaves even with the rest of the plant, and you won't have a weird stem sticking up. Since there are so many spent flowers, you can go ahead and shear, but the problem with shearing is you might miss buds that are about to bloom, like these, and you might cut those off. So it's up to you what you would like to do. Admittedly, it is a lot of work to cut these stems one by one. Here's a group of spent flowers, so you could just go through and cut like this, but there's a bud there, so I'm just going to cut these two and then cut that flower out, leaving this bud. You can cut the stem high up too, like this, leaving a longer stem like this, but you'll just have a little stem, so might as well go lower, either there or down here. It's okay if you accidentally cut off the leaves here and there. They'd be coming off if you were shearing anyway. It also helps to grab the flower that you're going to cut and lift it a little bit so it rises above all the other plants, and you can kind of see the stem, the end of the stem. Oops. I accidentally cut a bud. And when you're done, it'll look something like this, as opposed to this. You can clearly see where I've pruned or deadheaded and where I haven't. A lot more to go. I wouldn't necessarily suggest this, but you can just kind of pull. Sometimes you'll end up with something like this. Sometimes you'll pull out a chunk of plant, or you'll leave a stem. Sometimes you'll pull out some of the root. So it's better to go in, go down the stem, and use your nails to pinch. Go right above a set of leaves. If you're going to shear, you're probably going to cut off some leaves and maybe flowers if you miss them, but it definitely goes by a lot faster. Use shears that are sharp, otherwise you're just wasting your time. You'll end up with a pile of dead flowers and a nice looking clump.